Hi everyone, my name's Alana O, and I'm the witch and the artist behind the Grim Bear. If you have found me here on YouTube, welcome. If you followed me here for my other socials, welcome and thank you. I have just now started here on YouTube, started creating content for YouTube. So for those who don't know me, my name's Alana O. I actually have a online shop where I sell witchcraft tools. I am also a self-described lazy witch, meaning that my witchcraft practice is very practical. And I also talk online about witchcraft. I have a series on TikTok, which I started back in 2022, which I call Lazy Witch Tips. And with that series, I am trying to show people how practical witchcraft can be. So it's a way of inviting those who are curious into witchcraft practice and reminding those who left their practice that they are always welcome to come back to it. I am a self-defined lazy witch, and what that means is that my witchcraft practice is really practical. I don't usually go out of my way looking for witchcraft supplies. I usually look around what I have in the room, what I have nearby me, and that's what I use. I also don't do elaborate rituals all the time. That's not to say that I never do them or they're never part of my practice, but that is not the basis of my practice. I personally have tried a more ritualistic witchcraft practice, and that just has not worked for me. I found that I was giving more energy to actually looking for the items, planning the day, planning the moon phase, planning the time, and I felt like I wasn't giving my energy to my actual working. I felt like I was giving more energy to the preparation of my working. So giving my energy to the day of the week, the moon phase, the herbs, trying to make sure everything was exactly right or I had everything that I needed exactly. Actually, I felt like it took away from my workings and it misplaced my energy. So it made me take a step back from my practice and actually pivot and change the direction of my practice. And I think that that's okay. I feel like people need to be more comfortable doing that sometimes, because as our spiritual practice grows, we actually evolve. So things are going to change about your practice. There's some things that you might believe right now that you might not believe a few months from now or a few years from now. So it's important for us to take a moment and question the things, not just is this right for me, but also the why and the purpose, and make sure that the purpose suits you. For me personally, I want my witchcraft to fit into my life. I don't want to mold my life around it per se. And so in order for that to happen, I actually created this path of lazy witchcraft. And of course, I'm not lazy per se. Even bringing all of this to you takes a lot of work. However, the practice of lazy witchcraft is just to show you that you can make magic out of the mundane. And I know that we probably hear that often, but it's really true. It's really something that you can incorporate into part of your everyday, not necessarily every day. And we'll get into that a little bit later as well. So I mentioned earlier, I started a series back in October of 2022, and it was called 31 Days of Lazy Witch Tips. I have done it the last 3 Octobers. I do plan on doing it again this October. Hopefully everything is still up and running at that time. And what it is basically just very basic things that you could probably do right now that you probably already have the capability of doing. You already have the items at home, or you already have what you need to do this practice. And that's really what lazy witchcraft is about. It's about being resourceful, looking around, what do I have, and use it. This particular year, I actually included a mini series within that series talking about tarot cards and divination. So these are some of the things that I speak about on TikTok. I'm going to be bringing those here to YouTube and just having more in-depth videos, more in-depth conversation surrounding this. My hope in all of this is to just open communication about witchcraft, take away the taboo, the scary part. We're not here worshiping Satan, which I get a lot, or being demonic, or whatever kind of questions. If you practice witchcraft, you've dealt with that at some point in time. When someone finds out that you're a witch, you practice witchcraft, oh no, are you doing something evil? And that's something as a community that we need to work together to break down those taboos. And I think making it less scary helps those who are curious actually put 2 feet in the water and come in with us. One of the taboos that I addressed this past October that I think we need to keep reiterating is that anyone can be a witch. There is no gender for witch. If you practice witchcraft and you call yourself a witch, then you are so. Even if you didn't practice today or this week or this month, if you are so, then you are so. You can identify yourself as such. That's something that we need to just keep in mind, and we need to just keep reiterating. Everyone should be welcome here. That should be part of the practice of witchcraft, is everyone should be welcome, because this is something that people have done for years in secrecy, and now we're kind of taking that veil off, we're taking the secrecy away. So we should be welcoming others. We shouldn't be putting other people down or setting up who's a real witch, who's not a real witch, because that breaks down our community. That doesn't build up our community. Throughout the time that I have been creating content online that has to do with witchcraft, and also just in my own community, I've actually come into contact with many different types of witches and types of spiritual practitioners from many different backgrounds. So I think it's important that we have those people in the room, and when we're doing things like saying, well, I'm a natural witch because I'm this type, because you're not up to par, because we're actually splitting up our community, which is not something that we should be doing, in my opinion. So part of what I do with my witchcraft is not just talk about it online, but I try to bring the community together in a sense. Some of the other things that I do deity work, where I have a few of my own deities. I also make art for other deities, which is part of my shop. I will talk about deity work and just kind of making suggestions and helping other people. Deity work is really complex. Not all witches participate in that. Some people want to participate, but they're not sure how to, so we can talk about that. I also practice divination. I have a pendulum, at least one, with me everywhere that I go. So that is a big one for me. I also read tarot cards, and so we can talk about that as well. I don't read tarot cards for the public right now, so you won't be receiving any messages from me. And I wouldn't do that anyway, just because it feels scammy. But just in case, I just want to put that out there, that I do use tarot cards, and we can talk about that as one of the topics that we talk about when we're discussing witchcraft. I am not Wiccan, so that's just something important to mention. If your practice is Wiccan or Wiccan adjacent, I'm, there are certain rules that the Wiccan religion follows. Some some witches are Wiccan, and some Wiccans are witches. So that is not part of my practice. Of course, Wicca has a lot of influence on modern witchcraft, so you might see some of that influence within my practice, or we may talk about it down the road. But I just say that for clarification, for anyone who's wondering, or if that's part of your practice and you see me doing something that might be against the rules or against your practice. I don't mean any disrespect whatsoever. That's just really more for clarification. And of course, those who are just coming into the witchcraft community, I think it's important for you to recognize that. I just want to make a suggestion for everyone. If we're starting this journey together, and I can do it as well. And my suggestions for everyone to write down what you believe right now. Take a pen, if you have a journal or grimoire or notebook nearby. What do you believe right now in your spiritual practice? Make a list. It doesn't have to be an essay. Just write down the key things that make up your spiritual practice and what you believe right now, and write the date on it. And we'll revisit it again. So if you consider yourself a lazy witch, or you want to get to know a lazy witch, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Like I said before, we're going to be talking about witchcraft. It is mostly going to be talking head videos. I'm open to anybody in the comments who has questions or wants to discuss a certain topic. I am going to be bringing, like I said, part of my witch tips here so we can discuss them more in depth and just generally talking about witchcraft. So thank you so much. Remember to subscribe to my channel and look out for my next video. Bye guys.